tea with your faves. Keep it locked in with us for your daily dose of hot tea only on WINNMedia 98.9.
Good morning, guys, and welcome to Island Tea right here on WINNMedia SKN with your faves, Kevin and Azam featuring Jade, Gwenny Gwen, Adita, CPL, Matt, Stuart Johnson, and it is Friday. We are at the end of the week, Jade.
We are.
It is Friday, guys, and I'm really loving. Forgot I had that on. I'm really loving the prospects for the weekend.
You have prospects.
You know what I'm doing this weekend, Jade? I'm working and preparing for the opening.
Wait.
Yeah.
You frighten me.
Yeah. But not that them kind of prospect.
I'm like, what?
Not them kind of
Must be
prospect.
nice. But yes, it is Friday already.
Don't feel like me notice y'all fresh and thing with the.
Well, I had to go home and do a little twisty twist.
Yeah, don't feel like me see. I see.
They're here together. You can't be the only one here all niced up.
Jade, I'm looking at the what do I call them things? The gold things.
Did you hear jewelry?
The hair jewelry. I'm feeling it.
Thank you.
I'm feeling it. But it is Friday, so you guys know, of course, any minute now we're going to join up with our friends in Antigua at the Observer Radio for the Cross Caribbean Link Up. So look forward to that. But Jade, how are you doing? Before we jump into that,
I'm fine.
I have to check on my friends.
Yes, as you should, and people remember to check on yours as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I am fine. I have no complaints today, thankfully.
Awesome. And a good night last night. You got some rest this time? Sorry. I don't know what I was thinking.
Yeah, I went to sleep around 2-ish.
Okay, that's an improvement from the 4-ish.
Yes, big improvement. Huge leap.
Who knows? Maybe by this time next week, you might actually go to sleep on the same day that you wake up.
Small wins. I will try that tonight.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, man.
Also, no big plans for the Friday night.
No, friends. The only plan I have is to eat nuggets with my toddler.
Big up Jane one time. Boy, his nugget eating self.
Yes.
Ah,
Better believe it.
yeah, Friday night. Oh, you heard any crazy stories about perhaps on the strip last night?
No. What was I supposed to hear?
I don't know. It was St. Patrick's Day. I know they get crazy.
Oh yes. No, I can't say
My
that I did.
favorite place in the world to spend St. Patrick's Day is very easy. That is Montserrat.
Yes, they do celebrate over there.
Yeah, they go like it's cray over there for St. Patrick's Day. It amazes me because it's basically like their carnival, but it's not their carnival. Their carnival is actually the same time as ours.
That is true. They put more effort. Well, not that they put more effort into it, but it's more.
It's a bigger celebration.
Yeah, than the actual carnival, which is also special for the Caribbean.
I think the last time I was there for it, they said the population like went up by about 6 times. 6 times the people. So if like it's like 100 people there was like 600 people there.
Did the island sink a bit?
The island apparently sunk about 2 feet.
Not bad, not bad.
So the beaches were very close to the shore. But I mean, once people leave, then it rises again.
All right, so it seems like our friends in Antigua are ready to talk to us about some things.
Oh.
Always good things, always good things. So let's see.
Yeah. Bring it up. Let me see what's going on there.
Oh,
Yeah. So they're gonna jump on any second now, and here we go.
there we go, indeed.
How are you, Jade? Good morning. Can you hear me?
Good morning.
we
Yes, we can hear
and
you.
we are fine. How are you, Darren?
Frozen.
Oh, you're stuck just a bit.
Okay.
Hoping you could repeat that response.
Greetings and salutations. That's all I was offering, along with the political leader of the United Progressive Party, who's my guest this morning, and he graciously agreed to stay with us for another few minutes into our regional link-up because we were having a conversation about the issue of fire tenders here in Antigua and Barbuda.
Oh, interesting.
Yep.
Well, thank you so much for joining us this morning, sir.
Well, it's always a pleasure. And I listen to you guys on Friday morning. I always wonder what you actually look like. I mean, especially Jade, of course.
Of course.
Excuse me.
So at least it's good to, kind of see what the voices are like. I know what the voices are like. It's good to see, the faces behind the voices.
You as well, sir. Good to see you. How are you doing today?
So, I was just I'm fine, thanks. I was just talking about the fact that, in Antigua, we like to tease the Kititians. And I this is one
And vice versa.
And vice
Because
versa.
they tease me all the time.
But can you imagine Antigua, we always say we better than St. Kitts. You know that, right?
Yeah,
Delusions,
delusions
persist.
If you feel like that.
Yeah, delusions persist.
But this one, we have to just cool out, hang our head, and say one working fire truck in the whole of Antigua. Can you imagine that?
Yeah. That seems. That seems like an issue, though.
It is an issue, and it's not even one of the better fire trucks. It's a fire truck that has water storage capacity.
Was that a second-hand fire truck that we got?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm not
All right.
sure.
Okay.
What I do know is just not adequate for the purpose. And
But I have a
it
question,
has never
though.
happened before in this country.
This
And
does not.
Sure.
This is excluding the one that is at the airport, though.
at the airport, yes. I don't include the one.
Okay,
we have
okay,
two at the
okay,
airport,
great.
and that's a requirement
Yeah, for sure.
because you can't remove those from the airport.
Of
Have
course.
them move to the head of the class. Excellent question. Mr. Lovell, just as we look, because we have about 10 minutes or so before their guest arrives, Jamila hasn't arrived yet, has she?
She has just walked in, but she's getting set up.
She's getting set up. All right. So before we talk about what's going on with the nurses in St. Kitts Nevis, I do want to ask Mr. Lovell about the issue of access to state media.
Mhm.
That is something that has been, well, in the forefront of discussions here in Antigua and Barbuda as a result of the government deciding that none of their ministers are going to speak, at least on this program or Observer Radio generally. And of course, that stemmed from another decision about the Chief of Staff. We're not going to get into that, but I want to ask you about your access to state media. What is the latest on that? Have you attempted to get on ABS to speak about, well, matters of interest to the opposition and its supporters?
Well, this has a long history, as you know. Even before we were elected in 2004, we went to court and fought for access to state media. And that was the case of Baldwin Spencer versus the Attorney General and the Minister of Information. I know about that case because I did that case alongside Gerald Watt. Now, out of that case, and that was because we brought that case because we had applied for access and had been denied outright. And so we put it in the name of the leader of the opposition. And the case law coming out of that, or the decision, was that the leader of the opposition does have an unfettered right to state media because it's paid for by taxes. Now, this administration, they have interpreted that to mean that only the leader of the opposition can come on when they say so. For example, a few years ago, I was selected by the party to give a message on behalf of the party. And they said bluntly, I cannot come. They will determine who comes. And the only person who can come is the leader of the opposition. Now, that completely violates the spirit and intention of access to media. I, at the time, was leader, and I still am leader of the United Progressive Party. Now, the other thing is, we invite ABS all the time. Whenever we have a press conference, whenever we're having functions, events, and there's always some excuse why they can't come. And if they do come, the coverage is extremely minimal. But I don't remember them coming to anything for a while. But what we're going to do, and I can assure you, we have a strategy in place, and we know what we're going to do, and you will be hearing more about it very, very shortly.
Let me ask, Azam, Jay, do you have a follow-up question for Mr. Lovell?
Well, I suppose the argument being made, well, or the point that can be raised would be, once you make the argument that the leader of the opposition, for instance, would have access because it is paid for by state funds, then I guess one can then argue, well, that does not really apply to, for instance, party as opposed to elected officials. What would be your response to that type of discussion?
Well, it depends on what the purpose of the access is. And I think the purpose of access is to put the point of view other than the government's point of view. It's paid for by taxes. And therefore, the question has to be, do the citizens as a whole, residents, bona fide political organizations, civil society organizations, do they have access? Because clearly, the last type of organization that operated in this way, as I recall, is Radio Moscow. And that was many, many years ago, where only the authorized views of the government...
Not much has changed.
Well,
Certainly not right now under Mr. Putin.
But you get my point. The point is, you either free up the media, whereby you have a variety of views, or you don't. But, you know, to seek to narrow it down to say only you and not you, only you, no. To me, it's all about diversity of views. It's all about educating the public. It's about giving the people the constitutional right to receive information. Because let's remember, you know, the Constitution does not only say you have the right to impart information. That's an important component. The Constitution says you also have the right to receive. So this is a right that goes not only to the person who is given the information, but the right of the public to know and to hear, and to then be able to make decisions. And all of that is part of a modern democracy, that the most important thing is not the position you hold, but rather that there are views that you wish to share with the public who have a right to know.
All right. Follow up, Jade? Very quiet. You're contemplating, you're absorbing everything Mr. Lovell has just said.
I am. I'm just listening.
Okay. You listened to Auntie Debbie's reflection this morning. You have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so you're listening more than you're speaking. Yeah, which is not a bad thing. All right, Mr. Lovell, just as we look to wrap, it's now 70 minutes after 8 o'clock, and we do have our next guest.
And if I can just add, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
It's not as though I'm just talking. I ask anybody to compare how we ran
I was
ABS.
actually just about to ask that.
I ask
You
everybody to
give an
compare.
assurance that should you become the next
Listen.
prime minister, that things are going to be different.
I can only not only give the assurance, but I'm committed to this. I mean, I did a master's degree which had to do with the constitutional protection of certain rights, including freedom of assembly and freedom of speech, and how this has evolved over the years. I am passionate about this. I have fought for this, fought for it on the streets through marches and pickets. I have fought for it in the courts. I firmly believe this. And when we were running ABS, we allowed a diversity of views. I can recall going to ABS on more than one occasion and waiting my turn to come in after Labour Party people would have been there. We would have invited.
A listener here disagrees with you. The UPP did the same with ABS as well when they were in power. It's a back and forth that needs to stop.
Okay, assuming that person is right. I don't agree with them, but assuming they're right, I can give the assurance that that has to change. If that is the perception, we need to free up the media so that we can have a diversity of views. And I know for a fact that when I used to go to ABS, say in the mornings, I've never been invited, for example, to come to ABS on their Good Morning show, except about 3 days before the last election in 2018. That was the last time. When we were in office, this is no if, but, or maybe, you had Marsh, Brucella Marsh, you had William Dorset. They regularly interviewed all the different personalities from the Labour Party. They invited them. That was a policy. And I challenge anybody to doubt that. But, you know, at the end of the day, persons will have their own perception. But I'm speaking from a factual basis. And I ask those persons who were involved with, you know, to say otherwise, if that is the case.
How's the campaign going?
Campaign is
friends
going.
in St. Kitts?
No, campaign is going well. I want you guys to know that the UPP is going to win the next election. I believe that will be good news in St. Kitts, so I just want to tell you that.
Jade, Jade has a look on it. Oh, Jade is trying to set up cameras or something, Jade? She's like she's doing something in the background. So
But I just want. But I hear that you have some rumblings down in St. Kitts, man.
Yes,
what's going on down there?
yes.
Oh, that's
Tell
what you
us
heard? That's what
quickly
you heard
before
through
we
the
talk to
grapevine?
the nurse.
What type of rumblings you been
Yeah,
hearing?
yeah, some rumblings.
What type of rumbling?
Coalition, not coalescing. Coalition, not coalescing.
As some people may feel that it is the beginning of the end. Some people feel that it's just regular scuffles between friends. So it depends on who you talk to. But I suspect that only time will tell. I think the general feeling is that, at least for the general public, they kind of want the uncles to at least focus on delivering for the people as opposed to figuring out who's going to be what, when, and all of that type of thing. I think that's the feeling of the general public. You'd agree, Jade?
Definitely
You know,
will.
ultimately,
Yeah.
Yeah, the uncles just need to sit down and have
ultimately, you know,
a in-house talk.
Oh, okay.
it's all about the people, you know. And, you know, whatever happens, I trust that the people will be the ultimate beneficiaries and that the question of governance is always kept foremost, you know.
Indeed.
How we manage these small countries. I have to say that I have some admiration for some of the main players in the political landscape of St. Kitts. I don't see any of your leaders running the country on a radio station, abusing people, throwing insults at people. I think that's unprecedented. And I just have to tip my hat to some of the measures that I've seen taken in St. Kitts, which show that there is a focus on providing some relief to people. So I wouldn't get involved in the politics of St. Kitts because I know most of the main players, and I would consider most of them to be my friends. So I'm not going to take one side or the other, but I just say that at the end of the day, it's all about the people. And I trust that whatever transpires, you know, the people will not suffer and the people will be the ultimate beneficiaries.
I think we hold
Thank
the
you
same
very much,
sentiments.
Mr. Lover. And thanks so much. Sorry, Jade, go ahead, repeat that.
I was
I'm
saying,
sorry.
I think we hold the same sentiments.
Okay, all right, thank you. Short and sweet. So thank you very much, Mr. Lovell, political leader of the United Progressive Party, spending a few minutes in the regional link-up with us.
Thank you very much.
I really appreciate it.
And let me just put a plug for my friend Alistair Thomas in St. John City West, and to say that I hope the people there will give him their full support because we must get rid of the beast in City West.
All right. And you know who that is, Jade? Y'all know who he's referring to?
Listen, I have nothing to do with this. You're not going to make me can't come Antigua. So,
All right. Thank you very much, Mr.
Okay, man. All the best, eh? Cheers.
So, Jade, you have a guest in studio. Lord of mercy, I'm tongue-tied. And she was a guest on the regional link up, 3 weeks ago? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, about 3 weeks, yeah.
About a month ago.
3 weeks, yeah.
And she's back. Yeah. And I tell you what, since she's with you in studio, and of course, I'm sure both of you are a little more familiar with her and her story and so on, I'll take a dose of hush and allow you to introduce her. Jade?
Well, I mean, guys, we have in studio with us, yes, a friend of the show, of course. We have Nurse Jamila Francis, who is the president of the Nurses Association right here in St. Kitts. She was here a few weeks ago speaking about a certain situation that they've been trying to get resolved for quite some time. Nurse Francis, how are you doing this morning?
I'm doing quite fine, thank you.
I thank you for coming back and hanging out with us again. I'm sure our friends in Antigua as well are happy that you're back to give us an update as to what's happening.
Update.
Yeah, go ahead. We'll fix it one day.
I'm not hearing anything.
Oh, you're not here? Oh, okay. I could tell something was off. You're not. So I guess we'll try and get that thing sorted out. I'll tell you what. Can we pause for some messages? Yeah? No? Oh, we can go ahead. They say we can go ahead. So we can go straight through. You're hearing me, Nurse Francis?
Yeah, we'll take a short break and be right back.
Oh, okay. All right.
This is Observer Radio.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib. It's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
All right, guys, we are back and we are going to wait for our friends in Antigua to come and join us.
I think they should be there.
I think they're still running their ads. But Nurse Francis is here, like I said, and she is now all set and ready. So we're going to jump right into the interview shortly. Stop it. Stop the music. Yeah, we're good. All right, Darren, are you back?
Yeah, we're back.
All right, awesome. So, yes, we have Nurse Francis, as I was saying before the short break, who's here to provide us with an update as to what's happening with the situation with the nurses. So, Nurse Francis, what's been happening since the last time we spoke?
Okay, good morning to everyone. I'm Jamila Francis, the president of the St. Kitts Nurses Association. However, the St. Kitts Nevis Nurses Association, we are in collaboration because our National Nursing Association constitution binds us. And so, because we are having a national issue where the St. Christopher and Nevis Nurses and Midwives Council has caused some level of distress to the nurses across the region, the Nurses Association of St. Kitts and Nevis has united together to try to find some sort of resolve to the issues. So for persons listening, nurses in particular listening in the general public and across the region, any nurse who would have had to register here in St. Kitts to maintain her license, because for example, in Anguilla, most of the nurses there would have trained in St. Kitts because Anguilla don't have their own nursing school.
Right.
So they would have come to St. Kitts to train, and as a result of that, they would have to send their monies back to St. Kitts to maintain their license.
Right.
So now what we are saying, we want to speak to all of the nurses, whether you are presently a member of the St. Kitts Nurses Association or the Nevis Nurses Association or not, we are speaking to you. Once you register with the St. Christopher and Nevis Nurses and Midwives Council, we are here to represent you, and we are asking for those who are not yet signed up on the association to come on board and to join us so that we can fight this battle together. Collectively, we can join to try to get some sort of resolve. Because as far as we are concerned, we have a national nursing association and a national council that governs the nurses. Now, when I was here on the show a few weeks ago, I spoke about the issue of renewal of registration with the St. Christopher and Nevis Nurses and Midwives Council. Now, in the act that governs nurses, this is the St. Christopher and Nevis Nurses and Midwives Council Registration Act. This act speaks to renewal of registration every 2 years. Now, we would have gotten certain information from different nurses and different persons since I came off the air the last time, who would have made suggestion that we are to be registered annually. We actually register annually here. However, through our investigation, we found out that at the Regional Nursing Council, which the CARICOM Secretariat held in Guyana a few years ago, a decision was made where CARICOM countries would register with the council every 2 years. Now, in 2016, under the minister, Wendy Phipps, she would have made some attempts to ensure that these rules would have stipulated that we, the nurses, should be registered every 2 years. I would like to read for the general public the petition that the nurses would have signed, because it's been 2 years now since we would have petitioned. 170 nurses would have signed this petition. We sent letters, we reached out, and we did not get any response back. And that's particularly distressing because we are trying to resolve the situation in a manner where we do not have to take legal action against the council. However, we are not making much progress, and it's quite disappointing. So if you would allow me to read the petition that the nurses would have signed too. We, the certified nurses and midwives of St. Christopher and Nevis, hereby propose that the government review the Nurses and Midwives Council concerning annual fees charged for the registration and renewal of registration of nurses and midwives. We agree that a regulatory body is necessary. However, we believe that charging an annual fee for the privilege of maintaining our registration is unacceptable and inexcusable. This is because the current requirement for annual re-registration is incongruent with the most recently revised statutory rules and orders, the Nurses' Rules 2016. The Nurses' Rules, made by the Nursing Council of St. Christopher and Nevis and approved by the Minister under the authority of Section 23 of the Nursing Registration Act, Cap 9.17 of 2016, were approved on the 24th day of November 2016 by Wendy Phipps, Minister responsible for health, published December 1st, 2016, Gazette number 57 of 2016, as outlined in the St. Christopher and Nevis Statutory Rules and Orders, number 28 of 2016. The rules, Part 3 on registration, 6 Schedule on fees. CARICOM registrants are required to pay an initial registration fee of 100 EC and a renewal biannual fee of 100 EC, while non-CARICOM overseas registrants are required to pay $270 EC. In keeping with regional trends in nursing, other countries across the region charge relicensure fees every 2 and 3 years. Nurses in CARICOM countries such as Antigua and Barbuda, Barbados, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines re-register with their Nurses and Midwives Council every 2 years, while Dominica and Grenada re-register every 3 years. We believe that biannual re-registration will not only allow us adequate time to accumulate the stipulated in-service education continued education hours, but it would also have an adequate, it will also have, give us adequate time. No, it would also have a positive impact on the economic well-being of the nurses who diligently work in a healthcare system that is currently understaffed with a nurse-patient ratio of approximately 15 nurses to 1 patient. Many of our nurses practicing within the Federation and overseas resent having to pay an annual re-registration fee to keep our hard-earned registration. Please sign the attached petition to encourage the enforcement of biannual re-registration with the St. Christopher and Nevis Nurses and Midwives Council. This would have been signed on Monday, March 16th, 2020.
Yeah, Darren, any comments based on what she's said so far?
Well, I want to ask the question, is that 15 patients to 1 nurse? Or 15 nurses to 1 patient? Because,
15 patients. 15 patients to 1 nurse.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So,
that's not what you said the first time around. So I just wanted to
right, no problem. Right, so as you see, the nurses would have done.
When I get
Say that again.
No, I was just joking and saying when I'm sick, I need to move to St. Kitts because I'll have 15 nurses.
Oh no,
nurses to 1 patient.
Right. So the nurses.
I'm just kidding.
The nurses here in St. Kitts, they did not just sign a document that had no credibility or no backing. We did our research, and as a result, when we found that the Nurses Act and the Nurses Rules were consolidated with the latest revise in 2019, we saw that the rules remain the same. And it supports the fact that we are to be registered every 2 years. Now, they are every 2 years, right? Now, some persons would have said to us, and including authorities, that it is annual. Now, some parts in the Act could be a bit confusing, where it could suggest that it is annual. But that is why the Nurses Association felt as though we needed to have some kind of legal backing to find out the proper interpretation of the Act and application. Because whereas the word biannual, biannal, could suggest twice a year, that would be absurd. Because why would St. Kitts be the only country across the region be registering our nurses twice per year? So then we said, no, it can't mean that the word would refer to twice per year. It has to mean once every 2 years. And then it has to mean once every 2 years, because we are looking at the CARICOM and what's happening across the region. And then it came out, another person came and said, but part of the Act, Francis, we're reading. Part of the Act is looking like it's saying that you are supposed to send in this form every year and re-register. Then we looked at it with the attorneys and they said, what it's suggesting is that you register with the form every year, but you pay every 2 years. You can send in your application form to have your name to ensure that your name stays on the register, because it is you're saying in effect that I want my name to stay on the register. but you are paying every 2 years. And that is in alignment with the other CARICOM countries across the region. St. Kitts is not a vacuum. We cannot just do things by ourselves and in a little circle. We have to keep abreast with what is happening, or else St. Kitts would not be attending the regional nursing conferences across the region. That we wouldn't attend, but we are part of the CARICOM.
Well, I think one of the things I'm hearing you saying is, you keep referencing, regional standards. Could the argument be made that although that is the regional standard, the authorities in St. Kitts feel that this is one way to ensure an even higher standard by allowing, by requesting that the registration be done annually? Is there any validity to that type of argument?
Honestly, there is not, because here in St. Kitts, right, because we have such the nurse-patient ratio, right, it is so small in terms of one nurse to 15 patients. We are talking one certified nurse who is qualified to handle the necessary care, the care of the patient at a certain level. You are talking about standard of care. So if we are talking about standard of care, you are saying that you have one nurse working on the units with so many patients, but at the same time, you want the nurse to maintain her license to practice in such a dysfunctional environment? No. What you ought to do, because listen, you're putting the nurse under more pressure than is necessary. The nurse have to work. She has a family. She has all kind of other issues that is occurring in her life. She has a social life. She has a life that she deals with her spiritual life. She has friends and family and all different things that she have to deal with. And she still has to come on the job and work. You understand? And then she has to go home, and in her little time, she needs to continue her education. She needs to, stay abreast with information so that she is not a risk to the patient.
All right. Go ahead, Darren.
May I? Yeah.
Yes, sure.
What has happened? I mean, I think our listeners and myself would have gotten this clearly from you the last time you were on explaining this issue. And I think we are clear on what the issue is and what your concern is as president of the St. Kitts Association. What I am not clear on is, has there been any movement? I mean, has there been any conversation with the body that is responsible for this licensing arrangement? Has there been any conversation with the Ministry of Health and the Minister of Health and or the Prime Minister, Cabinet? Any conversation? I know you said that there hasn't been much progress, but have there been conversations taking place that give you some hope that, all right, at least they're listening to us, maybe we're going to make some kind of progress?
Well, I'll be very frank. I am a member, an appointed member of the St. Christopher and Nevis Nurses and Midwives Council. I am appointed as the voice. I'm on the council as a voice for the nurses and also to protect the general public. Now, we would have made efforts to reach out to the Minister of Health so that the issue of the council being inactive could be resolved, because we do not believe that we should have to appeal to the Cabinet Secretary for issues that could be resolved on the council. The council is here and it can deal with issues, disciplinary matters. When our nurses have grievances, we can come to the council, because as I said before in an interview, we don't believe that you should have to air all your dirty laundry in the general public. When we can come to the council and resolve these issues in an amicable way, a way that, could be a win-win situation for both parts. Because the Nurses Association, although we are a part of the council sitting as an appointed member, we are a non-government organization. So what happened is that there's a conflict of loyalty, conflict between our loyalty to the ministry and to the council, and conflict now as, for our loyalty to the nurses who would have put us there to represent them. And we have to choose the nurses who put us there. we have to choose the side of the nurses. Now, let me continue. What ended up happening? The council was reconstituted in a manner that was not pleasing to us. However, we left it there. But a meeting, an urgent meeting was called for the council to discuss the president of the Nurses Association. This was leaked to the Nurses Association. I wish not to reveal who leaked the information. Saying that we did not see on the layout here, you know, for the letter that it was sent to you, and you are a council member, an appointed council member, and also I am the secretary for that said council, which means I am to be there to take the minutes, to record and take the minutes. And so I said, well, let me reach out to the chairperson, and I would also send the information to the Minister of Health, because she, in effect, is responsible. She is the Minister of Health, and anything that happens on the statutory board is her responsibility, because according to the Act, those members of the board are protected by the Act. Nothing is going to happen to them based on what is done on the council. What will happen? The minister will be responsible. She will be ultimately responsible for anything that is happening to the nurses. And so I sent the letter saying that I was made aware of a meeting. However, I did not receive the email. And I don't think it fair that a meeting should be held to discuss the president or any matter concerning the nurses, and I am not there. Therefore, I wait patiently for my invitation to the said council. As a result of that communication, the Nurses Association's email address was blocked by the Honorable Minister, Byron Nisbet. She blocked the association's email. That was very disrespectful. And it said to us that we are being disregarded. And I do not stand for nonsense. We have to be very, very, very careful how we deal with matters, because I am saying that if you're in a position of leadership, you can't be so thin-skinned that if there's a matter that you think might not even be for you, that you wouldn't listen, because the association, we do our research the same way that the ministry and the government would have their legal representatives to interpret their acts. The association is a non-government organization. It is supported by the Public Service Code that nurses have a right to associate. We have a right to be members of our professional association and to vote and to attend meetings. And as a matter of fact, even the very Constitution cannot restrict you from associating.
So you said you've been trying to reach out to the minister.
And we got blocked.
What do you mean blocked?
There is it came up in the email when she received the email. We saw blocked. This message was blocked by the Minister, Honorable Akila Byron Nisbet. And we snapshot it because we thought that, oh my, what is this? What is this? So basically, it's not that we are not trying to open communication with the ministry. The ministry is shutting down communication with us. Therefore, putting the nurses in a position where we may have to agitate, where we may have to demonstrate, and it's forcing us to the position where we may have to strike. And I've made it very clear the last time that I was here. I am not a president that supports striking. I am a patient myself. I have health issues. All the nurses know that Miss Francis have her own personal health issues. So why would I want the hospital to be left without nurses? And then when I fall down downtown, who's going to be up there to take care of me? Who is going to be there to take care of me? And so, in effect, what is happening to me, because the ministry is shutting down communication with the National Nursing Association executive, it is ultimately putting the patient at risk. Because what we are saying, we need to come together to talk about the issues that are affecting the nurses. This is just one issue, and it is an issue where the law is on our side. And we are trying to say, let us fix it in a manner that we could bring the real issues to you, because we are not going to be in any back and forth fight on these matters. We are supposed to be able to work so that we can get things done for the nurses who care for our people. We don't have time for nonsense.
Understood. I think I'm listening to you, and I heard the question that Darren asked, and I think that is what a lot of us are questioning, because it seems as though the conversations need to be had in relation to the blocked email. I mean, we did see the screenshot. I believe it may have been a misunderstanding. The reason I'm saying that, I'm looking at the screenshot. It does seem that her name is spelled wrong.
Correctly, you have in the email. It is spelled.
So I don't know if that might have. I don't know if that might have been a reason why the message might have been returned that way.
When you make a spelling error in certain emails, it
Right.
blocks it.
So I don't know if that might have been an issue, but I think that even outside of this,
outside of that,
Yeah, I
I
think-
make no excuse about no email. And no, wait. We're not going to make any excuse about no spelling here. Because
It's
No.
not
when
an
the
excuse,
minister,
it's a technical error. We're
Excuse
telling
me.
you that you made a mistake.
darling,
in the
I
email.
am saying to you, we will not make an excuse when we have sent letters before, when I would have reached in an audience with the minister in the past, given her the petition, she read it, she told me she would have dealt with the matter. How then now that when I go to the Ministry of Health, and I asked to get a meeting with the Minister of Health, all of a sudden I can't have a meeting with the Minister of Health? I'm not making any excuses for anybody.
yeah. So that's the question that I think was asked, because
Absolutely
since the last
no
time
excuses
since
for
the last
anyone.
time you got
that's
here,
what we were trying to find
yeah,
out
since the
if
last
you
time you were
guys
here,
had a sit
had you
down or
guys have a
anything.
sit down or anything
No
like that? Oh,
sit
okay.
down, no and as a matter of fact, I made it clear on Freedom FM in the week that I would be attending the meeting, because an urgent, emergent meeting was scheduled at the Ministry of Health
when is the
for
meeting?
9
When is it?
a.m. yesterday. And
So you
I went to the meeting as I promised the general public that I would attend that meeting. I was on time. At 8:45, going up there, I was on time. When I got inside, I went in, they said, go ahead, you can go to the conference room because the meeting is scheduled there. When I went around, I sat and I waited, and I waited, and I waited. Nothing. Up until 10 o'clock, no one
But
came.
you're saying that there was, so this is the meeting. I'm just trying to get a full picture. This is the meeting that you were informed of would be happening, but you weren't officially invited to?
Yes, and I am saying that cannot be right, because if I am an appointed member and the Act states that council members are to attend meetings, then unless the minister is going to revoke the appointment of the president of the Nurses Association to the council, then every meeting I am entitled to be there, whether the meeting be to discuss me or not. On the other side of that, I am the secretary of that said council, which means that even if you didn't want to invite the president, right? Because I am the secretary of the council with an appointment instrument, then I have every right to sit that meeting, and whatever you want to discuss, I will just have to swallow hard. But listen, and then at least I will get the opportunity to say, I object, and I wish for my objection to be placed on the record.
Nurse Francis?
Yes.
Stay with us. We have to make tracks very shortly because it's almost 9 o'clock.
Yes.
What I want you to crystallize for the benefit of our listeners here in Antigua, who are somewhat removed. I mean, I'm sure they're listening with some interest, and I already have someone reaching out to me about the Nurses Association here in terms of their perspective. Our question to you would be, and I'm sure the folks in St. Kitts do want to know, our question would be, what happens from here after you leave the station this morning and you've drawn this to the public's attention? What next steps are you planning to engage in?
We will
to
go back
try
again.
try to reach resolution to this issue. Because at the end of the day, I'm sure you want resolution.
Yes,
the patients want
and the
resolution.
nurses want resolution, and the
Right.
patients want to feel safe
Correct.
that they
So
are
what
in the
happens from
hands
now?
of competent people. So, listen, what happens from here? I go again to the Ministry of Health to seek an appointment with the Minister of Health. I go a second time to the government headquarters to seek an appointment with the Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis. Then, let me say this. As I said, it's really unacceptable that, the nurses, that the entire nursing community of the Federation should be disregarded. It's really unacceptable. We don't feel like it is something that should be done. Now, steps to ensure that we settle this. We are saying that be it resolved that the Honorable House, we are appealing now to the House, urges the Minister of Health to pay due regard and respect to the nursing community of the Federation and provide reasonable direct access to the President and other officials of the Nurses Association for the discussion of matters important to nursing and the provision of health generally in the Federation. So we are urging and we are reaching out to the Parliament. Please, for the benefit of the people, please, we want a sit down. We want a mediation. We want a win-win situation.
Understood.
All right.
Understood.
Folks, we got to go. Just to be clear, I don't know if in the document that you referred to, very quickly, if it says biennial, biennial
It
would
said
suggest once every 2 years, and
Right,
biennial would
and-
suggest twice a year.
Right,
So
so
I don't know based on what you were reading, I'm not clear on.
excuse me, I
what
would have
it actually says.
I would have
But you
addressed that earlier,
Yeah, go ahead.
where I said that
Okay.
we would have all sat down and we are looking at the words and we are researching the words and we are saying that
Right.
it cannot be that the word, it has to be that there was a mistake in the wording, because it's no way possible that St. Kitts nurses need to be registered. Who in the world need to be registered twice a year?
Yeah,
For
no,
what?
I agree, it doesn't make sense. But I tell you
what?
what, I just wanted to clarify that the English language can be tricky.
Indeed.
But
Well,
when
we're
it
not
comes to
playing on no
emails,
words
you gotta
here.
Get it right.
We're not playing on no words
Yeah,
here, because
yeah,
I
yeah.
know that is when the nurse is going on the road. If you tell them they have to register twice
Okay.
a year, that's when we're going on the road. Okay? So don't come
Let's
with
hope
that,
not.
because we're not
Let's
going to
hope not.
tolerate that.
Nurse Jamila Francis, President of the St. Kitts Nurses Association. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Always an interesting conversation. Thank you so much. All the best. And I really do hope that this matter meets with some resolution.
All right. Thank you so
All right.
much, Darren. Thank you so
Azem
much.
And Jade, yes, we had quite a ride this morning. Thank you so much for facilitating. All the best and stay safe.
All right, man.
everybody.
Enjoy your weekend.
Kids.
But Nurse Francis,
Thank you.
I just have one last question, because
Yes.
I was given some information that the process has already started. Is that something that you're aware of?
Which process?
To amend the situation.
How so?
Okay, so I guess that information.
Jade, I think.
We
I
cannot
think,
amend without the
I think it's the-
National Nursing Association being a part of this. Because, as I said to you, the council is made up of different arms. You would have the heads of the hospitals in both islands, the heads of community in both islands, the head of the health sciences division. You're still going to have on the board a representative for the public. You're going to have on the board a representative for student. Of course, we're going to have on that said board, we're going to have a PNO in the ideal situation, but right now we do not have a principal nursing officer. And we will have the representative for the St. Kitts Nevis Nurses Association. So, in effect, as I said, there is a conflict of loyalty, because as I am sitting on the same board, I am loyal to the council and its mandate, but I'm also loyal to the nurses who would have elected us to be their voice and to speak on their behalf. And now I have found it impossible to resolve the issues from within, and that is why we had to come public. It's been years. I was elected in 2019, and at the second meeting of the general meeting of the nursing association, the nurses voted for us to petition and to go forward to try to deal with the matter. Now, we can't remain silent about things that matter. And even if it looks like it's a losing battle, there is no such thing as a losing battle. Because I believe that any problem you have could be resolved within 20 minutes. Any problem. If you sit down and we can listen and communicate back and forth, we can come to an understanding. Because it is already in the law. It is not to say that we are asking you to change the law, that we are asking you to put it 2 years. You put it there. So why is it that the authorities are flagrantly disregarding the law by failing to comply? You are the ones who put the law, and now you don't want to comply with the law? Well, if you don't comply with the law, the nurses them going to comply with the law.
All right, Nurse Francis, thank you so much for joining us this morning and alerting us as to exactly where we are in the situation. Again, as I said the last time, the hope is that things are being done to try and remedy this situation. So hopefully that we're at a place where we could see some resolution sooner rather than later. And again, thank you and the rest of the nurses for the job that you guys do. We appreciate it so much. Yes,
and I would say I will be back again with the update. So when I go to the Minister of Health, to the Ministry of Health today to try to get an appointment, if I don't, we're coming back again. Because this means agitate. It means disturb the peace. And we will disturb the peace until we get resolve. We want resolve. Because if we have to draft a policy to send to Parliament, with the robust reinforcement of these rules, and that is what it takes, we will do it. Because we have to get some sort of resolve to the issue. It is a serious matter. If you take advantages of us on matters that are already in the law, then you could take advantage of us with any and everything. We will never ever be able to voice our grievances. And this is not fair to the nursing population. Because as I said, I can come on the air and rant and I can rage and I can get on and say all the things that happen to the individual nurses. But we won't do that because all that is going to do is to cause division. We want to unite the base. We want to strengthen the nurses, and we are not going to allow anybody to separate us. Not at this point. Not when we need each other most and the patient is dependent on us.
Thank you so much again, Nurse Francis. Guys, we're going to take a short break and be right back right here on WINNMedia SKN with more Island Tea. Stick and stay.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib, it's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
Good morning, guys, and welcome back to Island Tea right here on WINNMedia SKN with your faves, Kevin and Nazem, featuring Jade Johnson. But Jade, we have in studio with us some very special people. Of course, friend of the show, Patrice Harris, is here again as her, well, in her capacity as the, Patrice, what's your title? I don't want to mess it up.
Corporate Communications Manager at Skelec.
Okay, go on, man.
Excuse me.
But Skelec is in the house, people.
Skelec is in the house, and when Skelec is here, it's always good things.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Good things.
Good things, yes.
Always good news and good things. And this morning, I have a special guest with me. I'm going to allow her to introduce herself.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Isilma Isaac, and I am the Debt Collection Supervisor at Skelec.
All right. So Isilma and I are here to discuss one of what I would think is Skelec's biggest promotion to date. We are giving away something that's very special. And from time to time, you might recognize that you're seeing or hearing a bit more from Skelec, especially in the community, and that is a part of our broad mandate to improve community relations and be a lot more invested in the community and ensure that we provide more for our customers. And in doing so, we have a promotion right now that is called Power Your Year. Power Your Year. And the reason why it is called Power Your Year is because just by paying your bill, just by clearing your bill, paying 100% of what your monthly bill is, you can win free electricity for 1 year.
Wait, Patrice, stop playing.
Me playing.
So what you're telling me, the promotion is there is a possibility of getting my electricity free for entire calendar year.
The entire calendar year is 12 months.
So you can just put my name in there.
I cannot do any of those things, Jade. We have consumer affairs. We have to ensure that everything is done the right way. Okay? So 12 months free electricity for paying your full bill. Clear out the bill, max out the bill, leave a little extra $10 and all for the next month. but clear your bill and you get to enter. And as we sat down and we talked about the promotion, we know that some persons have fallen on hard financial times and that it might not be possible for them to clear that bill. So I'm going to let Ms. Isaac talk about the second half of the promotion where we have some more offerings as well.
Okay, so for persons that are unable to clear their entire bill, but they can do at least half or the majority of their bills, we give them 6 months free electricity.
So you entered into the chance.
Right. If you can't afford to pay it off and be entered into the chance to win a whole year, you can also be entered to win 6 months.
Wow.
6 months free electricity.
And all you have to do to be eligible for that is to pay
At least
50
half or the majority of your bill if you can. Okay? And then we have, for all the other customers, we have the chance for them to win free gas voucher or food voucher, dinner for 2, or spa treatments for 2. Okay?
Jade.
Listen,
So
I
we're
still
sharing
trying
the
to
love, we're
figure out,
spreading the love.
Besides, like, if y'all can just bump. I mean, I can do all the necessary things.
Yeah, pay.
But I
Yeah.
can't
Start
just
there.
let me them bump a little closer to the top.
I just studying who it is I can carry to this bar. I got
That's
from
why I try to, you know.
As in, we ain't studying how you pay the bill, just studying.
No, the bill. Well, of course, he paying the bill first.
Well,
But he
up to
paying
date.
the bill.
Up to date, yeah.
Yeah, with the intention to win.
And what is special about this promotion is that it runs over 2 billing periods.
Right.
So
Oh, cool.
there is the bill that you will receive in March and the bill that you will receive in April.
Right.
And so, you know, the secret part about it is that if you pay your 2 bills, you get 2 entries.
Yes. So it started on the 14th of March and it runs down to April 29th. So we're just letting everybody know that just make sure that you come in, pay your bills, and it goes over all the payment mediums. So whether you do it via the IVR, eBiz, by the banks, or even come in and stand in front of the cashier, you have an opportunity to win.
No customer is left behind.
Exactly. None whatsoever.
None at all.
We're spreading the love. We're spreading the love.
No promotion go top this right now. Oliver. 1 year free electricity.
Let me tell
Or
you
6
something.
months.
Let me tell you something. Somebody out there does look at some of these promotions and think, but guess what? You're supposed to pay a bill anyway.
Yeah, but just try. Just try.
You're supposed to pay a bill.
So, you know, it's a win.
As there are a lot of people who do not believe that they should have to pay their bill.
Stop
Well,
playing.
they just learn the hard way, no? They're not winning any free electricity or 6 months or dinner for 2 days. They're not getting none of these things.
Yes, so we felt it was important to come and touch base with our Island Tea family and let the listeners know that Skelec has this massive promotion that we have taken place at the moment. You come in, you pay your bills, and just continue, stay in the habit of paying your bills. And guess what? At the end of this promotion, we have another promotion that we're going to drop, and that's going to drop for May, which is our Customer Appreciation Month. So it's promotion for promotion.
2022 is the year for Skelec and our customers. We're giving back a lot this year.
Because I had abused us a lot, you know. Remember the time I came on this show and we were public
not
enemy
dwelling on the past.
number 2. I think we were public enemy
but
number 2.
there was a rational reason behind that.
No.
Look, the truth is, and I can tell you something, people seem to have a short memory, you know. But Skelec been on the ball lately, yeah?
No, listen.
Skelec been on the ball
Listen, ever
lately.
since that, I swear to God,
As
y'all
a-
have not misstepped.
I'll tell you, as a matter of fact, Skelec been so on the ball, right? That when the cover up go now, people just wonder who it is running to a lamppost.
That is
Yeah,
true.
the
That's
fact
what.
that
That's
is
what.
true.
Seriously,
And especially since Skelec sends out the schedules of the
the maintenance.
yeah.
and
So
stuff
if
like
you're not seeing that, first listen. If my electricity is off, that's the first place I check. Let me see if Skelec tell me today that things are about to be a little dark.
Yeah.
If not, somebody wanting to a lamppost, hey, Skelec.
And
Happy.
we send out the notices weekly design, so you can see for the entire week where it's going to be off at what time and who's going to be affected, so you can prepare, because we know the inconvenience that is caused when someone is without power. And we know that there have been some missteps in the past, and that's why we're really working to improve the customer company relationship, and that is why I want to have it ringing in your ears. 1 year free electricity could be yours.
Yes.
So I would literally cry.
And the food and gas vouchers are like $500. So can you imagine? You can just go to the gas station, you know you have a $500 gas voucher. You know how long that can take you? And even to pick up some groceries, $500.
About 5 bags or 3 bags.
Yes.
Listen, especially right now, gas is like going up.
Anything to help a gas bill right now, yeah?
Yes.
Love it, love it.
One of the things that we have to state here is that the promotion is only for residential customers.
Only, right.
I know sometimes our commercials, they feel a bit left out, but
Yeah,
we
there's
have to
something
state.
coming for them, yes.
Okay, yes, there is. So we have to state upfront that it is for residential
clients.
customers only. And as Miss Isaac mentioned before, it is for persons who pay across all mediums, because we're still actively promoting persons to pay a bill online, use our phone service, use our quick pay, which is a method through the bank, use mobile banking, because we want you to adapt these types of new technologies and don't have to stand in lines outside our offices. So
But
please,
you can still come through and see the lovely cashiers that we have. All of them, they're more than eager to assist.
however you give me the money, I'm taking it. Right? However you give me the money, I'll take it. But because we're going to run back through it one more time, you stand a chance to win 1 year free electricity when you clear your bill, which means your balance has to be 0, 0.
0, right.
Your balance has to be 0, 0. And for those customers who don't get a chance to or are not in a position to clear their bill, we want you to pay as much as possible. Don't just pay 50% because we say 50%.
You can pay more.
The more you pay, the higher chances you stand to win, the more you can win. So Ms. Isaac, tell them again what they can win if they are not able to clear that bill.
They can get 6 months free electricity. They can get a $500 gas or food voucher. They can get dinner for 2 or spa treatment. So yes, we're taking care of you and we're giving you all the love possible.
So Skelec is powering your year.
Yes.
So please stay tuned to all of our social media pages. We also launched a brand new spanking website that was designed with our customers in mind. So www.skelec.kn for all news, updates, bill payments. To find out everything that's happening with the company, you can report a street light, you can report an outage, you can get in contact with our customer service team or anyone at the company for that matter through our Contact Us tool. So please remember, Skelec is the leading utility provider that's always here with you, and we wouldn't have it any other way.
And remember, Skelec cares, Skelec loves you. Power your year.
Power your year with Skelec.
All right, thank you guys so much for coming and joining us and letting us know about this amazing promotion. I'm hoping that everybody jumps on board and gets the name.
Perking up. Are you sure
So tell your friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. Let everybody know Skelec is here. We're powering your year.
Watch you go pay a bill, yeah?
Tell them as him.
Pay a bill.
Stop high nonsense.
Thank you so much, guys.
All righty. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thanks for having us.
Sure. But guys, we're going to take a short break. We're going to be right with more Island Tea right here on WINNmedia. Stay locked.
Get your property properly covered today. Constructing your dream house or considering renovating your property? We will make sure your property is properly covered at Guardian General Insurance. Yes, at Guardian General Insurance, we will ensure that your property is properly covered with our private dwelling and contractors all-risk promotion. Visit or call us today and get affordable rates, premium financing arrangements from now until March 31st, 2022. We will properly cover fire, lightning, explosion, thunderbolt, bursting or overflowing of water tanks and apparatus pipes, burglary, theft or larceny, impact by road vehicle, riot, strike or malicious damage, hurricane, earthquake or volcanic eruption, flood, collapse due to subsidence of landslip, loss of rent, cost of temporary accommodation, and much more. So get your property properly covered at SL Horseman and Company Limited, local agents for Guardian General Insurance today. Special terms and conditions apply. Call today at 869-465-9355 for further details.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib, it's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
Good morning, guys. Welcome back to Island Tea right here on WINNMedia SK. And it's Friday.
What a Friday. This has been so far,
I'm heavy up the place, boy. Thank God for Skelec with the promotion, see?
Bye. Listen. I don't know. I don't know what to say.
Jade, let's discuss something a bit lighter.
Yes, I feel like we need... Anyway, first of all, you need to sing first. I don't know what's happening to you. With you. Beautifully done.
Thank you.
Beautifully done. Yes. So let's jump into some positive news. Nivision Janicia Powell emerges as CFBC's most outstanding student in teacher education division.
You see your face? Okay.
Right? Yeah. Under the patronage of the Governor General of St. Kitts and Nevis, His Excellency Sir S.W. Tapley Seaton, the Clarence Fitzroy Bryant College, CFBC, hosted its 33rd commencement ceremony. It was held on Tuesday, March 15th.
I saw the pictures.
Yeah, beautiful, right? Well, the women look so nice and the men look so dapper.
Yeah, hey, you work hard.
You deserve. You deserve.
Showcase.
Okay? So, Dean of the Division of Teacher Education, Dr. Joycelyn Archibald Pennyfeather, announced the names of 21 newly graduated teachers who fulfilled the requirements for the Associate Degree in Early Childhood Education, the Associate Degree in Primary Education, the Associate Degree in Regular and TVET Education, and the Postgraduate Diploma in Secondary Education.
Congratulations to all 21.
Yeah, the most outstanding student in the Teacher Education Division was Nivision Janicia Powell.
Ooh. Big up yourself, Janicia Powell. She have some Navis, you said?
Yes.
Oh, awesome. I think a lot of times we come in here and we just really touch up the education system. Somebody, can you still tell me what course is? Anyway, sorry, off it. Janicia, big up yourself. But no, really and truly, a lot of times the teachers, don't really get the recognition that they deserve.
They don't.
And especially, especially, I was about to say, especially those that take the time to go and further their studies, become certified to be able to do the job better. I think one of the things you have to be mindful of is when you're going to teaching and you spend a few years and then you decide, this is what I'm going to do. That should be applauded. That should be applauded.
I agree, because I know for me, I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it.
I like teaching, Jade. I didn't like the system. I like people that feel like it's the students. No, that wasn't it for me. It was the system for me. But I think you have to have, just like with anything else, Jade, persons are suited to certain things. And I think a lot of times when you see people go out and, spend the time, get certified, and of course we have a teachers college here. So, they go there and they get their certification. You really have to applaud them, for really dedicating themselves to the profession.
Definitely do.
It's one of the most honorable professions, I would say. One of the most.
Kudos to all of the teachers and the new teachers who are about to make a difference in the education system.
Yeah, man, make a difference. You know what I mean by that?
Yes.
Digitize the textbook them and get some lockers
And stop by the people
and stop teach cursive. Please. Please. We're teaching children how to write nice. We're teaching children how to write nice.
Of course.
But they can't control their emotions because there's nothing that speaks to emotional intelligence on the curriculum.
No.
Okay, let's move on. Let's move on. Let's not go down the road. Let's not go down the road.
But let's jump into something else. So this says heavy borrowing could lead to death trap. Economist warns. If Barbados continues to borrow at the rate it has been doing for the past 2 years, the country could end up in a debt trap, says economist Carlos Fort. However, although he does not believe being under an International Monetary Fund program is inherently a bad move, he urged government to be cautious when it's borrowing. I don't want to create the impression that being in an IMF program is a bad thing in and of itself. However, is the magnitude of the borrowing we've seen over the last 2 years sustainable? The answer, quite frankly, is no, he said. Fort, a Barbadian based in Canada, is the senior consultant and project manager, research, valuation, and advisory economic consulting of the Altus Group. He was a guest speaker on the Democratic Labour Party's The First Republic Estimates Implications for Barbados discussion, which was held virtually. You know why I wanted to read this is because I feel like we've also had that, or do we still have that?
No, we've managed to ease out.
Oh, look at us!
Yeah, I think what happens a lot of times with these countries is that they find themselves in these difficult economic situations for a lot of different reasons. Sometimes it's mismanagement, yes, but sometimes you have situations that really and truly out of the control of the government.
Like COVID?
But like a global pandemic. But of course, we live in the Caribbean, so natural disasters is a thing that really. My issue has always been. It's not just the accumulation of debt that is the problem. It is if you use debt properly, it could be a tool, right? It just happened that a lot of these countries use debt because they pretty much have nowhere else to go, and it puts you in a place of it puts you in a real dependent place, a place where you then give up a lot of your ability to charter your own financial and economic course, right? So if you're borrowing, you say, oh, we're borrowing 100 million from somebody or whatever. It's not like a lot of money. But if there is a plan for that 100 million to work to earn 500 million, then one could probably justify that based on the validity of the project or the, that kind of thing. So it kind of depends. Well, it just happens a lot of times when you see these countries, going out and borrowing. It's because but things just rough and we need money and we got things we need to do.
Yeah.
Right, and sometimes it's not necessarily, like I said.
Especially when you don't have any plan on how you can make it back. Like when you don't have any systems in place, when you don't have any programs in place. Kind of feel like mismanaging. It's a lot of times it might be looked at as just keeping the ball in play or just keeping the head above water, right? Sometimes you borrow to pay down other debts. And I think the issue with the economists was speaking about, because of course he's speaking directly about the IMF. And we've seen how some countries have really faced some challenges based on what was instituted by the IMF, raising inflation, devaluation of the money. We've seen that in several Caribbean countries, and we've seen how that it's taken them a while to try and rebound and recover on those types of things. So yeah, it could be a real issue, but I think you can't just everything comes with strings attached. They do.
Everything comes with strings attached. So you have to be wise about what you're doing. And I think that you have in countries around us who are struggling to pay teachers' salary, struggling to pay pensions. This is a real thing. I think we can't just sit here and go, believe that we're somehow better than people, and yeah. I think we have been fortunate and blessed that we haven't had to deal with some of the issues that some of our neighbors have to deal with, particularly when it comes to the whole issue of natural disasters and things like that. Some of our neighbors had some serious issues with that.
Yeah, definitely. But we can't just decide because these things haven't happened to us.
So
it will not. We have to have a plan in place just in case.
But I think we have to look at these situations as these precautionary tales, right? And learn from them.
I always say it. Learn from the mistakes of others.
And not only that, in this particular case with Barbados has had some serious financial issues over the last 5 to 10 years, which they're trying hard to work on.
And I think they've made some
strides. They made some really good strides, big strides. And I think with the whole pandemic, that might have thrown a little a little wrench into the wheel. But I think we also have to look at it and learn from it. Whether they make proper steps or they may make some missteps along the way, it's important for us to really observe what's happening. Because we ain't better than nobody. We might end up back up in them situations. Yeah.
Exactly.
We not long ago had serious debt issues as well.
Definitely.
Had serious debt issues as well. So we ain't about a bit better than nobody or nobody worse than nobody. But we really hope that our leaders are really paying attention to these types of things. You can't just borrow, win an election and then walk out and figure it out later.
No. Because I'm money I figure it out with. It's always. So let's not do that.
It's the weekend, Jade. Give me something a little jiggy now. That's a jiggy, just not as heavy.
Well, some good news in Antigua at least.
Yeah, what's happening?
So lower house passes bill to extend maternity leave. The Antigua and Barbuda lower house has passed the Antigua and Barbuda Labor Code Amendment Bill of 2022 to extend maternity leave from 12 weeks to 14.
I was waiting because I was like, okay.
Wow, okay.
I mean, is there improvement? No, Jade, but this brings a bigger discussion. Jade.
Wait, let me finish the article first, and then we discuss.
Okay.
For many years, women have been complaining about the limited maternity leave afforded to them during and after their pregnancy. In 1998, the law gave maternity leave for 6 weeks, an insufficient number of days, according to Attorney General Stedway Benjamin, who introduced the bill in Parliament Tuesday. After representation by females and health practitioners in the matter, it was increased to 12 weeks. But the Internal Labour Organization examined this matter, and millions of ladies, they found it fitting those further amendments but be done, he said. Benjamin said the health and safety of women were also taken into consideration when deciding on the change. Persons saw the need to give pregnant persons an opportunity so their body can be properly healed and healed properly, the public safety minister added. He said there is also a belief that 12 weeks may not be enough, you think? But at least 14 weeks, that 14 weeks may not be enough, but at least 14 weeks is the figure which we are recommended. The amendments were passed unopposed.
Yeah, I think that it's a step in the right direction.
Yes.
I am not in a position to say it should be XYZ for whatever reasons, but I can tell you, I have friends, I have family, I have people who have been in the situation where, that moment when you have to go back out to work.
It's terrible, Adam. It's terrible.
Yeah, and
that's not enough time for you to nurture a fresh baby.
Yeah, no, this is my thing though. You also have to bear in mind the burden that puts on corporations, companies, and stuff like that, and also just the even just the even just the government, because a lot of these things, people get paid for the leave and stuff, right? Let me make a suggestion, and then there's a few suggestions. One, we have seen, because of the pandemic, the ability for persons to work from home and still be productive.
Yes, indeed.
What I suggest is that when necessary, perhaps there could be things put in place where new mothers in particular can, contribute. And the truth is, a lot of these people, even though they're home on maternity leave, they're still working, because some people work hard to it in college. Hey, Sandra, where could find the file with the Sandra? You could respond to the email there real quick, because is you was dealing with it and
Indeed.
nobody. And Sandra, you understand where I'm coming from?
I do. I
So
really do.
I think that perhaps we could strike a balance there with some, based on the nature of the work that the new mother is, involved in. Perhaps that's something that could be legislated, that if that is the case where they are able to work from home, that they are afforded, extra 2 weeks or whatever at home, or they come back from, they resume officially from 12 weeks, but aren't expected back in the office for another month or whatever, right? It allows them to kind of balance a little better.
More time.
The other thing too is, I love the fact that we are talking about this, that this is something that's being looked at and also being passed in some countries, because now I think that you'll see this being replicated in the other islands. The thing that I need some persons to be mindful of, though, is the importance for paternity leave. We need to have that conversation. We need to have that conversation.
Preach as
paternity. Nobody's saying that they got to be out for 6 months, but I think that it'll be a great help. I think it'll be. I think it's necessary. I think it's necessary.
It's very difficult. I don't think people understand how difficult it is for a new mom to have to
deal on her own.
Yeah, because some moms are still in pain because they had to deal with different cuts and bruises and their body is not healed properly, and then here you have a baby that you have to take care of as well. You can't get to sleep because the baby not sleeping. You can't get to eat because you have to manage with the baby. So I feel like some help at home would be.
But yeah, just even giving people time to bond with the children, man.
Yeah.
All this thing, we're supposed to be a society that is seeing all these technical advancements, all these things. Well, if all these things going on, we're becoming so well adjusted. We have all these machines and things that make us more productive and all these things, and a man can get 2 weeks home with each child.
Not even 2 weeks.
Anyway, good morning, caller 11 Island T. What's up? Last caller. But yeah, man,
I agree with
you. If we're at this point in human history, we have all these things going on, and we can't find some way for fathers to be home with their kids. It's I don't know. I don't think we're doing enough. Good morning, caller. You're live on Island T. What's up?
Give thanks.
Yeah, man. Morning.
We want to have the bush day.
Yes, sir.
Right. Way to go. I agree with your parents. Parents born is very important. Very important at that time over there. Very important.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah, lady put the line to me have a minute, we want to use it to say the nurses. The plight of the nurses. It need to resolve. Like yesterday, like yesteryears. Yeah. Why the back and forth? Why they dealing with the nurses like that? Why? Me won't be taking the political thing again, because I be this Westminster style politics, hey. Why they dealing with the nurses like that? Sure.
Yeah, man. The hope is that they get that whole situation resolved quickly. Yeah, but I mean, we're being assured that it's something that's being looked at. Hopefully, we just got to get to the point where it's resolved and everybody can be, on the same page.
That's all
whatever the page is. Hopefully everybody gets on that. You know.
Yeah, we're tired of the beef, and we just want people to just live in harmony. The world is already so rough.
Jay, sometimes you need a little, discomfort and friction and thing. But I mean,
but I feel like
it should be towards the end of resolving the situation. But I'm coming to a solution that's best for everyone. Good morning, caller. You're live on Island T.
Hey, good morning, Azim, and good morning, Jade. Still shining, eh?
Morning.
Morning.
Yeah, Jade is beautiful, you know.
Oh,
every time you see Jade, you see what you call it, minerals. Anyway, I'm trying to find the right word because you all don't give Jade the right word. And Jade,
Don't let me send you carry down the wrong word, you know.
Girl, I never lead a man wrong yet. Right to the altar. as in running from the way to man, like straight to the altar you're going. Anyway, now in relation to the paternity matter, I think the civil service allows, I think it's 5 days, for men.
What is supposed to do with 5 days?
I'm going home, Jade.
Well, I come into it now because you give them weeks and they don't pass out. Who is going to see that the men actually do something? Because some of them, from the time you say you're pregnant, they know the child ain't theirs. And the child born, so I suppose the monitoring will have to start from the maternity ward.
But with the monitor, the mothers?
How would you monitor that men are actually doing what they're supposed to do during the paternity leave? That is my question.
So do
you have any suggestion, any ideas? I'll hang up.
All right.
I guess the thought is that once you're a mother, you automatically have to do.
Yeah? Who doesn't monitor the mothers?
I am of the assumption that what she's saying is
for the 12 weeks.
Well,
you want me to tell you why you see a mother doing on the gram?
I want to tell the police.
On the gram?
I want to tell the police.
On the gram 8 weeks after she was thing? What she was doing for her birthday weekend? Hey, let me tell you something, though. The snapback reel and them young girls buy. I'm telling you, it's real. It's real, Jade.
Listen.
Good morning, caller. You're live on LNT. What's up?
Yes, good morning.
Morning.
I would just like to point out a larger issue in terms of the work generally. We've made a lot of productivity gains because of technology, but we have not passed this on to workers generally in terms of things like a shorter work week. I mean, if productivity has increased so much, then why is it necessary for people to work 5 days a week, 6 days a week? Right? The work week should be shortened, and that would give people a lot more time to do other things. Okay, but that has not happened. And actually, in some cases, even those people who now work from home would tell you that they work just as hard as when they go to the office, right? Longer hours, right? It might seem more flexible, yes, but because of things that have been put in place to make sure that you still get productivity from people working at home. They have like deadlines to meet, metrics to meet, and so it is not, while it might sound nice to be able to work from home, it does not always redound to the benefit of those working. Okay, and so in this maternity this discussion, I think that is just one aspect of it. You know, generally you want people to have more time for leisure and pleasure and taking care of their families. Okay, but how we are approaching this, I don't think is correct. I don't think we're looking at it from the point of view if you have a shorter working week, automatically productivity will decrease, and that is not necessarily so.
I think what it is, right? I think what it is, Carlo, I think there's a culture that exists, that the companies own their employees, and that's really what it comes down to. That's really what it is.
Good point.
Yep.
That's really what it comes down to. It ain't nothing about productivity going up. So okay, this is the goals that we need you to meet because there's a fair exchange. You work for money, and the work that we expect should meet to this standard. No, it's nothing about that.
Nope.
We pay you, we own you. That's
Literally.
kind of what it is driving this. And until that culture change, I don't know if we're going to see what should happen, which is what you're suggesting.
But isn't the bottom line the profits? If it's proven with a shorter working week that the profits could be even more because maybe their overheads get less, having to provide an office, let's say an office environment, right? So if they see that, but I don't think that has been proven yet.
Yeah.
And that I think is the problem.
I think
that is what I think we should be working towards a much
for sure.
shorter working week.
Yeah, for sure. Agreed.
Right.
Thanks. And like I said, I think what is happening though is that there's a culture where not only just that they own, they pay you so they own you, right? That is why some of these companies, when they try to give you that work phone, but people tell them a whole lot, because you can come call me anytime of the night and that.
Because you feel like, no, you have 24 access to me. Oh,
but
no.
I think what it is also is because there's a view of and even if you look at in business books, text, the way business is taught, we even speak about it in a certain way. We call the workers not partners, not any. It's a human resource, and I think when you look at them as this resource, then the goal is to extract as much out of this resource as possible. Just take as much as possible. Take as much time, take as much energy, take as much everything out of these people.
Yeah, and that's why we find a lot of these times companies ask you to do more and more, but you're
paying moving. Extraction, that's the name of the game, and it's because it's a whole culture, like the caller said. We're trying to maximize profits, and it's this culture of extraction that drives that, ownership and extraction. That's what the issue is.
Feel like I went in.
Good morning, caller. You're live on Island T. What's up?
Good morning, my children, my island children. How you all today? Thank God it's Friday.
Yeah.
Friday. I say my notion and Jane, how are you?
We're doing great. How are you?
I'm fine. For my age of 3 schools, I feel good. I don't know for later on, but I feel good. I remember tea I drinking, my island tea, my bush tea, all them milk and so gone through the window. Now and again, you're making a little porridge, you put some in it, but
lovely.
Just your bush tea, all kind of bush. And you know, Jane got a lot of bush out there. We go run to these drugstore. Don't call nobody name, but they all go get sold. And buy these.
Nobody cares me on the money.
One painkiller. And the painkiller them there, right there, watch you, right staying in your face. You sit down by Ross. On the other side with those tall trees with some peas on it, painkillers. You draw them and you drink them. And I know another hotter painkiller I find there that you wouldn't believe. But if I could have texted, I would have texted you because I should say going to Herb's business, because right now, to my knowledge, I know a lot of bush, what could help, the situation of, illness and so. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, what about the nurse thing? That sounds too on and on. Oh, that comes abroad. It broader than Broadway now. We shouldn't let it come abroad. I understand what the girl say, the lady saying, They're supposed to pay $100 every 2 years. They're putting them to pay every year. That's clear as crystal. And, some of them maybe can't make the grade because finances, paying the bills, the rent, whatever, the care, whatever. And you know, they need to look in for that. And who running the hospital? The lady from down my way, Akila, please, get what happened? You ain't got mercy for the ladies. You all need to, you see how these come wide now, Jaina? And as I don't know, because we have a radio station, you know. When I don't know for dream, but I remember as a young woman passing to the hospital, they have a certain time, they got a little meeting, you said, got a nurse, a certain nurse in there, and whoever, you know, in the instructor talking to them. What happened to this now? You gone to the window, Mr. Cameron, I'm studying too much about don't take the vaccine. Oh, yeah, go and take the vaccine. Go and take the vaccine.
All right,
Remember,
all right.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. And then the next thing, and something was said last night, and that's my last thing. I don't like that. If 3 people in a place, 3 people join a group of things, it ain't each people supposed to get a turn. Mr. Harris supposed to get his one. Sean was supposed to get his one. His own, and Mr. Mark Brantley deserve his own. So it's 3 you are joining. 3 party where you got to get to this. Doesn't this nonsense we hitting the airways with? And like he ain't getting connection and somebody behind the lobby. I don't know who laugh in the head. Have a good Friday, you hear?
It's already a great one, thanks to you.
You as well.
Thanks to you, Carlo. Thanks.
Boy, what a Friday, boy.
I
did not expect to wake up to this one.
I came here this morning thinking it's the weekend coming and in a good mood, but I had no idea this is where we were going.
Today was something else. So where you want to go next? We could talk about why our uncle over in St. Vincent thinks citizenship by investments attract shady characters.
Like duh. That's why you have due diligence, sir.
Okay, well.
I mean, we could hear what you guys say. He's smarter than me.
Allegedly. So, yes, let's see what our good uncle has to say. So, St. Vincent PM says citizenship by investment attracts shady characters. Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Dr. Ralph Gonzalez, has doubled down on his view regarding citizenship by investment programs or golden passports. The spotlight is now on such programs, especially with the Russian-Ukraine conflict. St. Vincent and the Grenadines does not have a citizenship by investment.
Imagine that. What? I would not have guessed. I would not have guessed. Sorry, Jane.
Gonzalez says both in principle and practice, he has always believed this thing was a mistake. The Prime Minister believes in principle instruments of nationhood should not be sold as citizenship. To him, it is the highest office in the land and is not a commodity for sale. He also believes a passport is the outward sign of the inward grace of citizenship, which is also not for sale. Gonzalez believes
people that doesn't marry for them things also?
Listen.
Sorry.
Gonzalez believes in practice, citizenship by investment is not sustainable and is of the view that it brings a lot of vagabonds, criminals, and people who want to use their money to escape the extent of scrutiny. The Vincentian Prime Minister notes that the noose was tightening on the citizenship by investment programs, and more so now as moves are being made globally to clamp down on golden passports. Gonzalez says that Vincentian passport is a very good passport. We built the reputation of this country over the last 21 years, and we have a first-class passport which allows you to enter so many countries visa-free, including the United Arab Emirates. He warns that the middlemen and women who manipulate governments and sell these passports are all about. Many of them are shady characters. Prime Minister reminded that the opposition New Democratic Party had been proposing to sell the SVG passports during the last election campaign. I wonder what they are saying now. Where their hit tune, their hit song. Gonzalez ended by saying, "Hurry, hurry, bird, now build goodness."
Gonzalez, Gonzales, if you think it's such a bad thing, then just don't do it.
Listen.
That's all, yeah. But
I'm sorry.
I would hope that the concerns that you expressed are concerns that are shared by those who do engage in such practice.
Mm-hmm.
And those points being concerning, they have put things in place to safeguard against them.
Like Interpol?
Like due diligence checks.
To Interpol?
And all these other background checking agencies.
Like Interpol?
And all the rest of them.
The men say,
this is like, you know what this is like, Jade?
Caribbean ministers like
this is like, Jade?
What?
This is like when people talk about church and they start to say, oh, but church guy never set the people them. So what do I got to do with like?
What do I got to do with church?
Of course, but that don't mean because you go to church don't mean you're going to heaven.
I don't know where they.
They are safeguards. They do diligence before you get to heaven. Yeah? You can't just go. You can't just go church. Watch, when you reach by Saint Peter, and Saint Peter open up the book.
I start to flip. I start to peep you.
But you were busy, man.
This is you. Wait. Hold on. You feel like you're getting in here after doing this?
I'm looking for the part with repentance.
Really saying this.
So, sir, what? Okay, no. Okay, look, I tell you what.
Fact, go stand up over there. Let me. You know, and they take you out the line. It's fun.
Bye. Hey, when you're trying to enter somewhere and they take you out the line.
Stand up over there so long. Go home. Just go home.
Oh, bye.
It means something different.
Yes. There's due diligence checks.
Yeah, man.
Don't worry yourself.
I don't know. I feel like it's kind of giving me, because I didn't do it, it don't make no sense. But that's just me.
Yeah, who knows? I mean,
because the man said his passport is accepted worldwide. Over 100 countries?
I wonder if you know that the same shady people could just literally pay a very small sum, get married. I wonder if they do due diligence checks on that.
To marriage?
The to marriage thing.
I don't know.
They probably wait like 5 years and then tell you, okay, cool, you're good to go now.
Yeah, there's other ways, man. I don't feel like this is the only way. And I feel like if
there's people literally just going up in the graveyard, looking at the last name.
In 1945.
Looking at the grave. Oh, that was my grandfather. Oh,
I got you. Yeah. So.
Anyway.
Somebody says Shoop said Uncle Ralph.
Yeah, but he has his view. And not only that, you know, there's people here who have the same view.
Of course. I'm sure one of them calling right now. Answer the phone, you see.
Well, it's got to be a quick call because we are almost out of time. But good morning, caller. You're live on ILNT. What's up?
I thought I wanted to get in. Just quickly, on the issue about fathers getting leave to assist the mother of the newborn child. We told you they could lead the charge. And let me say this. Remember, a lot of men, they can't claim for that because they got a built-in uncertainty whether the child is theirs or not. But I'm going to say this last thing. Sometime back in the 90s, I went to the United States and I went to look for a friend. And then he told me, well, you can get more time because they work less days but longer hours. Now, you know, United States is a massive country. So sometimes you go to work in the same state, you know, you're going to work maybe 200, 300 miles away. So instead of coming home every day and returning next morning, okay, some people live in these things that are motels, etc., etc. But they give you a longer time on the weekend with you. Some companies, not all. So you work to Thursday. I think you work 10 or 12 hours per day. And then you got from Thursday down to Sunday. So you go back to work Sunday evening. So that could be an option also. Okay?
All right, understood.
I'm just saying that. So when you launch your charge, you could add in all of that. Have a good day.
All right, man. Appreciate it. Yeah. Yeah, that's a thing.
Yes. But quickly before we leave, I saw something that I think we should share with the general public. It says 2022 free health screening activity dates. Friday 18th February, Friday 18th March, which is today, Friday 22nd April, Friday 20th May, and Friday 17th June. This is taking place at the Independence Square. So go across there and get your height, weight, hip, and waist measurements, your BMI check, your blood pressure, blood sugar, breast examinations, and your kidney checks. So guys, if you feel like
this is?
In the square today.
In this square today.
For free.
I'm going over there.
For free.
Give me kidney check.
Do a little maintenance, make sure everything working as it should.
Breast checks. I want to believe I go, Jade.
I want to
but
believe so
But there's nothing wrong with with checking.
Mm-hmm.
Some others assume and then when things too late
Others
now.
assume very wrong.
No, but guess what, guys? It's free.
True.
It's free.
So go and check.
I think outside of these types of initiatives, we need to do at least annual checkups, right? And so when we get these opportunities put on by the Ministry of Health, etc., take advantage of it. It's free. It's free. Go get check in the square. From what time?
I don't see a time. They just gave.
They're down there now, and if they're down there now, then be there soon. So
yes.
go.
Best way to put it. But guys, we have to go home. Our Friday is over. What a roaring start it has, boy.
Yeah, it's been a week, Jade.
It's been a week. It's been a day. It's been a month, and we're only in the middle.
Yeah, but guys, appreciate you so much for joining us this morning. Taking the time out to hang out. Those of you who have been part of the conversation this morning, appreciate you, whether that has been on the phone lines or in the chat room. Big up yourself.
Indeed.
I love the people that log on Facebook, YouTube, or WINNMedia SKN. And of course, the people who just love their FM dial 98.9, where they're listening to us based on, this is what you really wanted to do in your morning, or you just happen to be overhearing us from your neighbor who got the radio real loud because they're actually a consistent sipper in the morning of Island Tea. Big up yourself. What are you reading, Jade?
Somebody cussing me.
Oh, cussing you?
Yeah.
Oh, normal.
Yeah.
Normal. But yeah, guys, we're gonna head out. Remember, we have Your View with Sandra coming up next. What's the rest of the day looking like, Jade? After Sandra?
Well, the usual voices. Today, Friday. Then the rest of the afternoon is just pure entertainment, music galore. We have Jet Sounds, we have DJ Flames, and then, of course, to wrap up the night, we have DJ Rob Walker. So stick and stay.
All right, guys.
Got some things.
So that's what's happening today right here on WINNMedia. Yeah, so where to keep your radio dial to throughout the day. But guys, it's the end of the week. I want to wish you guys a restful, peaceful weekend. Remember, if you do go out, be safe. Look out for your fellow man. Look out for those around you. And of course, deal with people with grace and love.
Indeed.
If you get a few moments, rest up, please, so you're able to face. Yeah. Sometimes people go so hard on the weekend, and by the time you hit back to Monday, you can't even get through the week.
The weekend truly ends on a Saturday.
Yeah. So guys, remember, spend more time living your content than posting it. And you can't be everybody's cup of tea because you are not a mug. See you guys on Monday.